All right, ready for a close-up on something we all do, smiling? But get this, we're diving deep into some seriously cool research about what our smiles really say about us. And I'm not just talking about, like, whether you're a happy person or not. This goes way deeper.
It really does. It's amazing what you can learn about someone just from their smile.
Seriously. So, like, you're saying even if it's a quick selfie or something, there's hidden info in how we smile.
Absolutely. Even a posed photo of your smile can give clues to your personality. We're talking those subtle things, how your eyes crinkle, the way your lips curve, those little quirks that make your smile unique.
Okay, wait, hold up. Even a fake smile can reveal something about someone's personality. How is that even possible? So I'm like rethinking every dating app photo I've ever swiped on now.
Might change how you see those photos. There's this research paper, Smile Variation Leaks Personality and Increases the Accuracy of Interpersonal Judgments. It's wild. It digs into how tiny differences in smiles actually connect to specific personality traits.
All right, you've got me hooked. I'm definitely intrigued. But how do we even break down a smile like that? What are we even looking for?
A lot of it comes down to this thing called the Duchenne smile.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that. It's like the genuine smile, right? Involves certain muscles that we use when we're actually happy.
Exactly. And get this, the researchers were analyzing old college yearbooks, like decades old, and they could predict certain things about people's lives based on their smiles way back then just by looking for signs of that Duchenne smile.
No way. That's kind of mind-blowing. What makes the Duchenne smile so special? What am I missing when I see a smile?
It's all about those eye wrinkles. A real, genuine smile, you're engaging the muscles around your eyes. That's what gives you those crinkly corners. Sometimes even crow's feet. With a fake smile, it's usually just the mouth doing the work.
Okay, so it's not just about smiling big, it's about whether your eyes are smiling too. I can see how that would be huge when you're trying to figure out if someone's being real. But how on earth does that connect to our actual personalities?
That's where it gets really interesting. They found some cool links between certain personality traits and whether someone was showing a Duchenne smile or not.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here. Give me the details. What kind of personality traits are we talking about?
Well, on one end of the spectrum, you had the people who were more likely to flash those Duchenne smiles, the ones with the eye crinkles.
Yeah.
They were also more likely to be described as warm, empathetic, the kind of people who really enjoy connecting with others.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And here's the thing. They were also more likely to be seen as trustworthy and organized. So basically, good people to have around.
So basically, the kind of people you'd want to be friends with or maybe have as your accountant, right? But what about the folks who don't naturally have those megawatt eye-crinkling smiles? What did the research say about them?
Well, on the other side, people who weren't showing those Duchenne characteristics in their smiles, they were more likely to be seen as aggressive.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they sometimes had what the researchers called hubristic pride.
Yeah.
But before you start thinking these are the villains, it's just one study.
Right, of course. I was just going to say, should we all be suspicious of anyone who doesn't have like a Duchenne smile? Like, is that a red flag now?
Definitely not. This research is more about realizing the subtle signals we're all sending out, and often we don't even realize it. It's not about judging someone's entire character on one expression, right?
Right, totally. But this does make you wonder, if our smiles can unconsciously reveal so much, how good are other people at picking up on it? Like, could someone look at a picture and actually get a sense of your personality just from your smile?
Funny you should ask that. That's exactly what they wanted to see. They showed those same photos, different smiles, same people to a totally new group of people. And they asked them to rate the people in the photos on those same traits, like how warm they seemed, how trustworthy, aggressive.
Okay, so it's like a smile-based personality test. Did it work? Did the perceptions match up to how those people had actually scored on the personality tests?
Get this. When people saw the photos with smiles, they were more accurate. For most of the personality traits, they were better at judging those people than when they saw them with neutral faces.
Whoa, are you serious?
Yeah.
So even though it's a static photo, a smile somehow makes those people more readable. That's the science behind that. Are our brains just wired to pick up on these little smile cues without even realizing it?
It really seems that way. What's super interesting is that the increased accuracy was directly related to whether those photos showed those Duchenne smile characteristics, those eye wrinkles.
This is wild. We're not even aware of those tiny muscle movements, but they're changing how people see us. Like there's a whole conversation happening under the surface.
It's like a secret language of smiles, right?
Right.
But like any language, there are always little exceptions and nuances.
Okay, good point. Before I go around analyzing every smile I see and jumping to conclusions about people, what are the caveats? What's missing from this research? What am I not thinking about?
For one thing, they use still photos, right? Real life, way more dynamic, way more complex than a snapshot.
So I can't go full-on smile detective in my everyday life. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. What else comes into play?
They didn't really look at cultural differences. A smile can mean something completely different depending on the culture, you know?
Oh, that's such a good point. A smile might be warmth and openness in one culture, but in another it's more like politeness or being appropriate. So context is key. Totally. Think about it. A job interview smile, totally different than the smile you'd have at a party, right?
Uh,
And don't even get me started on those awkward family photo smiles. Like, what even are those?
right. And it's not like a smile is just this one thing. It changes, even if it's subtle, as you're talking to someone. A still photo, it just can't capture how a smile unfolds, how it matches what you're saying. All those little things add meaning you'd miss in a photo.
It's like those time lapses where you see a flower blooming, so much is happening between the start and finish. So we've got cultural differences, different situations, and the fact that a smile is always changing. But even with all that, this research is really eye-opening, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It makes you think about all the signals we're sending even when we don't mean to. And here's something to think about. If our smiles can show our personality without us realizing it, what if it works the other way around? Like, what if we could decide what traits we want to project and, change our smiles to match?
Whoa, okay, that's a lot. Are you saying if I want to seem more trustworthy, I should practice smiling with more eye crinkles? Is that all it takes?
It's definitely not that simple. But there's this cool idea called the Dorian Gray effect. It says our personalities actually shape our faces over time. Think about it, laugh lines, worry lines. It's like our experiences show up on our faces.
So our faces reflect our inner lives. Okay, that's a little intense. How does that connect back to our smiles?
Well, our smile is one of the most expressive things we've got. So it makes sense that they would be shaped by this Dorian Gray effect, right? If our personalities change our faces, maybe our smiles become a self-fulfilling prophecy. They don't just change how others see us, maybe they reinforce who we are.
Wow. That's seriously fascinating and maybe a little scary, honestly. It makes you wonder, do we have more control over our smiles and maybe even ourselves than we realize?
It's a great question. Can we actually change our smiles on purpose and change how we interact with people? Could we even change who we are? Something to think about.
Definitely something to chew on. This deep dive has really changed how I think about something as simple as a smile. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be way more aware of the smiles I see and the ones I'm giving.
It's crazy how much we can learn from something we do every day.
Absolutely. So, listeners, here's a question for you. What does your resting smile say about you? And if you could decide, what do you want your smile to say to the world? Tell us what you think. Find us on social media and use the episode hashtag. And join us next time when we do another deep dive into something new and fascinating. Until then, keep those smiles up. You never know who's reading them.